I know. Well, I was messaging Charlotte last week because I was like, what can James wear?
Yeah.
Can you do a feature on that?
That's really hard. What do you put a 40-something man in for Glastonbury? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm thinking I might need to buy him a bracelet. I mean...
Welcome to the Sheerlax Team Podcast with me, Charlotte Collins. This week I'm joined by Sherri Andrew, Georgina Blaskey, and yet another new addition to the sofa, Hodge, aka Sarah Templeman. Hi!
Hello! It's so exciting. It feels very weird being this side of the camera.
Yes, you are. Hodge, for those who don't know, is our head of broadcasting, but she's also got excellent chats. So she is yet another new recruit for the Sheerlax podcast.
Oh, well, it's been recognised at last. I'm really trying to impress everyone.
Don't you feel vindicated after 3 years?
I'm really funny. But yes, at last. I mean, yeah.
How's everyone? We've all been enjoying... God, the amazing weather this weekend. Georgina, you've been away.
Yes, we went to a place called Tagazout Bay in Morocco for 4 nights, which was gorgeous. It's been half term. So, we just 3 hours on a plane and you're in a completely different continent and everything just feels so different and amazing. And it was like, obviously it's kind of guaranteed sunshine. So it was very hot and very restful and it's just gorgeous. So we flew to Agadir and then it takes about 40 minutes in a taxi and you're there.
And
so nice.
what is there to do there? What's the landscape? What's the vibe?
So if you're into surfing, there is a massive surf scene. And in fact, in October, they do a huge festival and kind of global festival. So all around the world, people are coming. All the sort of big surf brands are coming. There are competitions every day.
Oh, wow.
So I'm quite tempted to go back in October, actually.
Fun.
And then otherwise, if you're into golf, bit of golfing, there's a lovely little village called Tagazout, which is very close by, and you can just sort of visit, barter, lots of bartering.
Good shopping.
I mean, it's not Marrakesh, but there are some shops around, and then it's right on the water, just great people watching. Otherwise, we're in a big hotel, and it's the kind of all the things you would expect are there. So argan oil, which is the kind of Moroccan oil shampoo and all of that stuff, this was where all the argan trees are. So we did go to this incredible new museum, which was fantastic. And in the middle of it, they had this, just the most beautiful restaurant. It's all newly built. So it had kind of these lights that were sort of, raffia lights and sort of planting everywhere. Yeah, just gorgeous. And that was proper Moroccan food. And we had, I think, probably the best meal actually was nice. Lunch was just delicious.
Maybe it's my naivety. I haven't heard of it. Why did you choose there?
I've sort of got lots of friends who've gone to that coastline. So there's a town that's quite well known called Essaouira, which is a little bit further up. If I was going for a week, I would do kind of 2 days Marrakesh, which is 3 hours drive away, and then sort of 4 days beach. So you could do a kind of dual location. I just love Morocco. I've been a couple of times and I just think the people are so kind and friendly and the food's really yummy and it's really good value actually.
And it's guaranteed sun really, isn't
guaranteed
it?
sun and it's close, I mean, it takes longer to fly to some parts of Greece than it does to get to Morocco.
So true.
I've never been. Have you been?
I've been once. Oh, you say that and it didn't, it rained the whole week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Where were you?
Agadir. But I think that was just a fluke.
fluke.
Yeah, unfortunately. But so as you said, beautiful food. It's just really nice.
I think it's good for
it's really
girls.
laid back as well. It's just got such a laid back vibe.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Yeah, I've been. We went a couple of years in a row with some girlfriends. One of her father-in-law owns like a hotel there, so we'd go and take over it and pour the other guests as we sit around drinking rosé. But it's quite nice because you can do like a day shopping and then a day by the pool, and the food is yummy. So I think it's so close.
Yeah.
So it just makes such a difference because we did Istanbul with a group of friends, adult friends.
You mean not your children's friend?
Adult only. Earlier in April, the first weekend of May, first bank holiday, and it's a 5-hour flight, and we got, and it was freezing.
Yeah. I went there in April a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I could not believe how cold it was.
Yeah. People had puffer jackets on.
Yeah, they're in like their winter coats, and you're desperate for spring, so you're packing kind of on a wish and a prayer that you're going to have
Tel Aviv
good
can be a
weather.
bit like that. So many people go to Tel Aviv in and around like a Jewish holiday that's in April, but that can be just like it's just really iffy. You want to get, it's kind of climbing at that point, and you want to wait until you've got those like solid 4 months of.
And then you
beach.
don't really see it at its best because none of the terraces were open. So you sort of feel you've half seen it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was so nice just to get away without the kids. But
And speaking of, you've been in Cornwall the last week.
yeah, so we had half term in Cornwall, which was heaven. And the sun was really hot. So there was no complaints this time.
Is it true that it's hot? Is it hotter in Cornwall than in London?
Yeah, because it was on the coast.
It's like, and also it's like lower.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a
More
microclimate.
southern, yeah.
I don't know. They always do.
No,
So we have no idea.
You had lovely weather regardless.
We were lovely, and
Yeah.
it was so heaven. And you know, it's funny because lots of our friends were away in Europe, and they were messaging saying it's raining in Greece and Spain,
Yeah.
and we were like, oh god, it's so dirty.
Shame.
And everyone was so snug on the beach. So there's nowhere better to be. It was very
When the sun is
yeah,
shining.
when the sun is shining. When it's driving full force rain and you can't leave the house,
Yeah,
then you
not-
know,
Yeah,
it's
and you're
different,
like,
but-
let's play Scrabble again.
yeah, the kids are killing each other. But no, it was so nice, and it was my birthday when I was there, so we had a really nice sort of beach barbecue. I was talking to Charlotte earlier because lots of people are there, but we only sort of see them in Cornwall because, you know, everyone's sort of holidays the same week. So I always do this like beach barbecue on the beach, and it's not really like my best friends, but it's a random selection of mates. But it's so nice.
You know those people where like you don't really see them in London, but then if you're on holiday in the same place as them, you're like, oh, we must do drinks. It's
Yeah,
like, why?
yeah.
Like, we're
Annual
friends.
drinks, even
Yeah.
though actually in London you probably live
don't
about
hang out,
2 miles
exactly.
away, but
Yeah.
you never hang out.
I'll
Exactly.
see you next year, and they do cake, and it's such an effort.
I love those people you only see once a year. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god!
But it's really funny to see them on your birthday. Yeah.
It's all about me. Yeah, so it was so nice.
Any Cornwall recommendations?
Well, yeah, because it was my birthday, James booked, because we were staying with James's parents, my husband, but he booked a hotel for us for one night called the Scarlet Hotel, which is sort of near Newquay. It's more something, Porthmoran or something. And it was so nice, and I've wanted to go there for ages because they have an amazing hot tub, which is just it looks like it's right on the edge of this cliff. It's a bit further back, but from the pictures. But so that was
Get your panoramic at the right angle.
Yeah. But James had flown back to London, so I went on my own and checked in at 4 p.m. He wasn't going to get there till 9, and I think that was the best. Like, it was so nice. I swam, I did a Pilates, lay down on my bed, watched an episode of Selling Sunset. Oh my god,
the
happy
dream.
birthday me!
That sounds so
it was
nice.
So nice.
Yeah, it was so, and then we went to this one place in Boscastle called the Rocket Store, which is Jade Jagger's daughter's restaurant, and it is the most insane food. If you're ever there, I really recommend it. It's tiny; it only takes about 20 covers, but the food is on a chalkboard, and they bring you the board, and it's also tapestry sharing, and they do amazing cocktails and. So pretty, and the view is in a harbour. It's amazing. So I'd really recommend that. But yeah,
Nice.
Wow.
other than that, we're on the beach.
And
Barbecue.
back now, just pre-Glastonbury.
Pre-Glastonbury, yeah.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
I know.
Hodge, oh
I
my
know.
god. Well, congrats on getting tickets, firstly.
I
I know.
know.
Very hard.
We were super lucky. But it's been a bucket list, so we're ticking it off this year. But
This is your first time going.
first
then?
time. And Elton's playing,
Yeah.
and Lizzo.
Amazing.
Are you camping?
We're glamping.
Nice.
That's the way
So
to
there's
do
a
it.
bed.
Yeah.
There's a bed, which is not on the floor.
Yeah, like
Slightly elevated mattress.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And there's a hanging rail, and
hanging rail?
like
You can charge a
plug
phone.
sockets.
and-
Okay.
You've got electricity.
There's actually there's no loo, but there's a nice place. There's a shower block,
Yeah.
and apparently you have this thing called Interstage, which is in the camp, which is in Glastonbury, and that's where you go. And there's nice loos in there, so
Okay.
you can always
You can
have
access a nice loo.
which
Okay.
was like my fear.
No Portia loos for you.
I know. I need the tips because we've never done it, and it feels like you got to go and nail it.
Yeah, it's so true. Especially
Yeah.
if you're doing
Yeah,
it once.
we're never
it's a bucket
going
list
again.
thing.
It's so
Have you
expensive.
been?
No. We tried to get tickets this year,
Yeah.
but
No,
just wasn't
not to
quick
be.
enough. Yeah.
So my husband is going for the second year to Glastonbury with one of our friends who works for Warner Music, and for the second year they're staying at Babington House.
Do you know? Oh my god! So
And they
Georgina,
get
this is live.
shuttles in and out whenever they want, and they're kind of like some kind of Porsche Cayenne type. It's like the proper fancy pants version of Glastonbury.
I'm like, if I'm ever
have
doing
a morning
Glastonbury-
swim,
Oh,
and
right.
then
That's it.
get the car,
Yeah.
and then leave the site at like 2 a.m. or whatever.
That is
I
exactly
didn't
how I
know
wanted
that
to
was
do
an
Glastonbury.
option. I would have done that.
Well,
Gutted.
I mean,
you spent a fortune to sleep 3 inches off the floor.
but she will be
With my own power
elevated.
pockets on.
She'll be elevated.
She will be, yes, elevated, and that's what's important.
That's amazing.
That's exactly how I want it. Like every time people are like, "Oh, have you done it?" I'm like, "I will wait when I can stay at Babington and do Glastonbury." That's what
Yeah.
my
So
time,
we
yeah.
were talking about like, what if we got an Airbnb close by, and then we just need to find someone who's like 18 on a gap year who wants to earn some money, who's just passed their test, who can then
can drive back
drive
and
us
forth. Yeah.
in and out. That is
that's
kind of the
clever.
game plan.
That's clever.
That's so cool.
Take some planning there.
Fun.
Yeah. So lucky him.
Yeah. I know you've started looking into what to wear.
I know.
How's that going?
I know. Well, I was messaging Charlotte last week because I was like, "What can James wear?
Yeah.
Can you do a feature on that?"
That's really hard. What do you put
know.
a 40-something man in for Glastonbury? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm thinking I might need to buy him a bracelet. I mean,
Is it time to go
I know.
Just look at that.
The tattoo.
Yeah,
He's
maybe.
got my tattoo, but on his bottom.
Yeah, I
So
don't
maybe
think anyone
I'll cut
see
a
that.
hole in his shorts.
Maybe it is maybe you just lean into like the Gen Z thing and you buy him like a
Yeah.
bucket hat
Oh,
and like
God.
cargo trousers and he just goes for it.
Also,
I
bucket
know.
hats a little bit cringe. They have excellent sun protection.
This
You get
is
the
true.
back, you get that, you get the front.
It's true. No burning with
It's very
a bucket
practical.
hat.
Actually, when we went to Latitude last year, which was my first time doing the glamping festival thing, and my son invested in a bucket hat within 5 minutes of arriving, and it was really hot. And yeah, it was a
There you go.
game
I
changer.
don't think I can do it. I think I'll have to do a cap. I'm not sure.
Just
I
a
can
cap.
Okay.
I know, and me, I'm definitely channeling Daisy Jones. I feel like everyone there
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah.
But sort of frayed, what are they called? Fringe
Yeah.
Jackets.
jacket.
Isn't there like a shopping
shorts,
village there or
boots.
something?
Yeah, but you want to go prepared. Don't
Yeah.
you? You
You
don't
wanna
want to go in and
pick
be like,
up
I
a-
have to shop.
Pick
Yeah,
up a
true.
But
couple
I
of
don't think
bits
it's
as
good
well.
shopping there. I think you're just cold and then you just want layers. So
Layers.
you might have planned the perfect outfit, but you end up with like gross, massive fleeces on you.
Yeah. You
I
buy
think
through
it's,
the
the,
shop.
it's when you're sleeping and you wake up at like 5 a.m. and that's kind of
And
the
you're
coldest
cold.
part and you're freezing. So
Yeah.
I think woolly hat and woolly socks
you think
for
it's that
sleeping.
cold?
Yeah, at
That's
night.
true,
my
I
God,
don't
it's
count.
freezing.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Oh
Oh,
my
we
God.
were so cold at Latitude, and it was one of those hot. You know how hot it was
Yeah,
last
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
Freezing. Because
Oh,
also
wow.
in the country.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
do get a hot water bottle in my elevated mattress. So
Oh,
I should be
comfort.
yeah.
Therefore, I don't know what you were doing at Latitude. but- oh my God, what fun. Okay, well, you'll come back on and tell us about it afterwards.
yeah.
Speaking of major musical moments, Sherri, it
Oh
was a
my
big week
goodness.
last week.
It was a big week. I finally went to see Beyonce after months of, well, just anticipation. And she was, I don't really have the words to describe how good she was.
Really?
Which is, I think, the general consensus. Everyone who I know that's been has said it was incredible. Best gig, hands down, by a mile I've ever been to.
No
Wow.
way.
Oh, yeah, like hands down.
I saw her live like 10 years ago and I remember it. I don't remember anything other than Halo, but I remember the whole thing feeling like a religious experience. Like,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never seen
wow.
anything like this.
Yeah. At one point, we were nearly like we were literally just watching like mouths open. Like, firstly,
Wow.
she's here in Tottenham of all places.
Yeah.
Why have they done it in Tottenham Stadium?
To be fair, the stadium is actually amazing. It's,
Okay.
I think it's like one of the biggest and the newest.
But I
in
asked Ben,
the
it's
UK.
not bigger than Wembley. Maybe it's because her
Wembley's
dates
the
are
next- I think-
Accessibility.
So I think Wembley's too big. So if you're in Tottenham,
Ah.
even if you're right at the top, at the back, you can still see
Fine.
the stage. And they also have this really cool central staging area that can like rotate and move.
That's cool.
Which is really cool.
It was
So
also there was
actually-
also a football final at Wembley. Maybe it clashed this
Yeah,
weekend.
exactly.
Oh, yeah,
FA
so
Cup
FA Cup,
Yeah,
final.
yeah.
So the actual staging was amazing. The production, just everything was like elevated. So the dancers were incredible. When she came out, everyone was just like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
So we were sat in front of these two people and they were lovely. They didn't actually know each other. And we were like, "Oh, will you take a picture of us?" They're like, "Yeah, of course." And I'm like, "Oh, do you want a picture of you guys?" I'm like, "We don't know each other."
So they
And
were
then-
each there by themselves.
Yes, loads of people were there by themselves.
wow.
And,
Because
like,
it's so hard to get tickets. Just take it.
Wow.
and,
Yeah.
and expensive in like these mega outfits.
And you don't want to have a chat because you just want to watch it.
Yeah,
That's true. You don't need to be with
You're not
anyone.
going to be
Yeah.
making small talk. are
Yeah,
you?
yeah, exactly. At one point, she was like, "Will you film me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm missing Beyonce. But yeah, she was just so good, and her outfits were on point. She wore all the. I guess if you've been on TikTok, you've maybe seen a few spoilers. I tried not to see too much because I wanted to
Yeah.
like see it IRL.
It's a lot of silver. And
Yeah,
like-
lots of silver, lots of cowboy.
Big wind machines.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw something on yours actually where it's like the hair was blowing.
Oh yeah, the hair was
Yeah.
blowing. Blue Ivy came out.
So I want to
dance.
know about. So I've seen a lot of this concert on. I get
Yeah.
served loads of concert content on TikTok. Don't really know why. And so I feel like I've seen a lot of it. And one of the prevailing things is Blue Ivy with her like wildly lackluster performance. Like bless her. I mean, dead behind the eyes.
her vibe,
And
though?
well, I think it's just that she's like 11 and there's like
Yeah.
never been more nepotism like ever. It's kind of she can't not dance. Like she follows the choreography and like she's got like a bit of rhythm, but like. I mean, she wouldn't have even made it into like round one of auditions if she was another person. So the fact that she's out, I mean, people will be listening, so you can't see it. But I mean, literally, it's like she'll do kind of one move and she'll be like, and then she'll just do another move. And it's like there's just no flow, no flow.
And I just thought maybe she thinks it's cooler to not look like I'm with my mum and just be like,
Maybe, but I feel like
Definitely.
if your mum's Beyonce and you just like and you're performing, you've got to just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my mum, but I would swap.
Yeah, me too.
yeah. Blue, I was watching a video thinking that girl's gonna have a really nice life. Yeah. Really nice
You know what? I actually thought she was amazing, and I've
Who,
seen.
Blue?
Yeah, Blue.
Oh, really?
No, she was genuinely really good.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I think it takes so much to do
guts.
choreography. It wasn't just like 30 seconds. It
Yeah.
was a good 10 minutes.
Okay.
She did lots of songs.
On her own.
So she was kind of like with like the dancing troupe. Beyonce was on a tank, a like glitter encrusted tank,
Wow.
which was really cool. And she was kind of like dancing in front of her with like the adults who were like, you know, a lot older. She's only 11 in front of like what 62,000 I think is the capacity.
Yeah, but I feel like she hasn't been brought up with the same levels of like humility or like imposter syndrome that like
Or
over the years
normal.
we've kind of seen her like out in public and stuff and like that girl
Yeah.
is not worried about like. Do you remember that video of her when she was really young and they were like she sat in between
my
both
God, the
Daisy and
Oscars.
Beyonce at the no what was it was a music
it
the Grammys or
the Grammys,
something
yeah.
and they were like clapping and they were like woo like for something and she's just like. She basically tells them to simmer down. She's like, "Now calm,
I love that.
calm yourself. Stop."
She's already an icon.
Yeah.
She's like North, isn't she?
Yeah,
Yes,
just like full of
same
sass.
energy,
Yeah.
same like.
Yeah. Who has
unbothered.
like a mega
Yeah.
TikTok account.
Yeah.
And she's quite posy.
Yeah. North.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
definitely.
Rosiest. Yeah.
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 It doesn't look like excited.
No,
Yeah, it didn't look
not,
excited.
not that enthused by their wildly
absolutely
unique
not.
life. No.
But yeah, all props to Blue. She was really
Okay,
incredible.
fair. And did she play any of the old bangers, or was it mostly new album?
Yeah, I'd say she played like half of her like most classic bangers.
Okay, amazing.
But it was done so cleverly because it was like intertwined with like the Renaissance songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it would kind of it's like the best DJ mix you can imagine.
Oh my
like,
God.
Crazy in Love, then goes into like one of her new like songs like Energy. Yeah, honestly, even now I'm like, wow. Honestly, like so
Like you've been
starstruck.
touched by the hand of God.
Oh my
Like,
God.
another.
I know, and our seats
Level.
got upgraded.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing at concerts.
Well, we were supposed to be sat on the side, and then they had like some lighting issues, so we got to sit like bang in the middle.
Oh,
Wow.
unreal.
Yeah,
And is it all
really good.
seating?
So they have standing, and they have
Okay.
like the beyond. What's it called? It's like the queen bee.
They call it the Beehive.
the beehive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like an inner circle around her, so you're literally like
Yeah.
as close as we are now.
No way.
But those tickets are expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
God, so you lucked out.
Really lucked out. Yeah,
Amazing.
so we're kind of like halfway up at the centre.
There's such a culture. I guess I'm thinking of like Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, and Beyonce, who are all obviously Harry less so now, but you know, are all touring. And I feel like this whole kind of dressing up for people's concerts has become so much more of a thing than it ever was. You obviously. I mean, please tell the listeners about your outfit. You guys missed this last week, but it was epic.
Well, yeah, the outfit. So I had my silver sequin trousers on. I actually wore a hoodie because I saw a lot of TikToks that said it's really cold in the stadium, and it really was. It's really windy. Also, it's in the evening at like 9 and 10 o'clock. It was 3 hours. A really long show.
Wow.
You get your money's worth. She was out there for hours and hours.
I mean, there's no negative.
Honestly, no negative. And then I had this cowboy hat that I did a bit of DIY and like bejeweled myself with these mirror pieces. But I wasn't the only one. I saw many cowboy hats. Not homemade, I will say, but it was so cool to see all the different outfits.
And did it last on your head because it was so heavy?
Yeah, it did. I had the worst hat hair of my life.
I'm sure.
It was like so squashed and flat. But yeah, it actually wasn't too heavy. Also, I was so excited I didn't care.
No, who cares?
There are no words to describe like the intricacy of like all these tiny mirrored bits of things that Sherri like painstakingly hand glued to this huge white cowboy hat. It was seriously the effort. It was
I don't know
like
what to do with it now. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
sat on my chair in my bedroom.
But it is a symbol
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
what a
True.
night.
That's
I
your
know.
Beyonce hat.
Honestly,
Yeah.
one of the best nights ever. So Can't recommend it.
And
Well, I
you
say
were,
can't
like,
recommend it. It's
buzzing
over now.
after it.
No, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you couldn't yet buy. I assumed that Taylor Swift's Eras tour had sold out like globally, but I didn't know that tickets hadn't gone on sale yet in the UK. I know.
That is meant to be. Is it like
That's also like
4
3.5
hours?
Yeah,
Another one, yeah.
I really
every
wanna
song
go.
or something?
Yes. Although I was accused by a friend of not being a true Swiftie this week. I don't know. Like
Why?
because
What did you
I tell you why. I know. It was, shit got real. The canon of music that woman has. Like, no, I'm not a true Swiftie because I haven't been listening to her for 20. I mean, she's been going for so long.
So long.
She's
There's
only
all
about
the old.
17,
I
isn't
know.
she? Oh my
There's
God.
all the old country music, and then there's the new album. There's this song. I was just saying to you before that there's this song that's been going round and round in my head all week. And I thought it, and it's Cruel Summer, and there's this bit, I won't even sing it anyway. There's this bit in Cruel Summer.
go on.
No, I'm drunk in the back of the car. That bit. Sorry, I can't. And my friends were like, you're very high. And I was like, okay, well, the alternative is, I'm drunk in the back of the car. Anyway. And I was like, oh, wow, I love this song. What a great new song from the new album. I heard Kate in the office say that the song came on the radio, and I heard Kate say to Daisy or something like, oh, you know when a song just like so reminds you of like a summer, like it's such a moment in time. And I was sat there thinking like, what idiot is new? like what, this summer? Like last week? Anyway, it turns out that song is 4 years old. So what the hell do I know?
my God.
That was how I was.
I'm not a true
not a
Swiftie
true
then.
Swiftie, no.
'Cause I've
But,
no idea.
but there's like a chunk of, greatest hits in the middle that I feel like I really like and would quite like to see live.
Well, I think she'll be amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
I just think though you get like the rest of it is kind of 2.5 hours of stuff you don't know though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
that's
she's
true.
just, I saw her once I went to the Brit Awards, and this must have been about 8 or 9 years ago, and she did a couple of tracks, and she was just insane.
Really?
Yeah, she's just so professional, so slick. Her legs, she was in these hot pants, and it was just like
She loves
these
a hot pants.
pins. Aren't they insured or something? I feel like they're.
Oh
she's
yeah,
got
that rings a
something
bell.
in-
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, like Regina George.
Yeah, yeah, with her.
So yeah, she was brilliant, and I reckon I would love to see her.
Wow.
Wow.
We're going to see Harry Styles actually next week.
Oh,
We're taking the
fun.
kids. It was for Ava's birthday.
Oh, I thought he was done. He's still going. Is
Yeah,
he?
it's next Tuesday. I don't
In
know if
London?
that's- Yeah, Wembley, I think, or
Oh,
O2.
wow.
I don't know.
That's really fun.
I know it's so fun. But funnily, we booked it thinking the kids would be so bummed. I mean, they're not really that bummed.
Oh,
I'm like,
Really?
guys.
They'll probably enjoy it when they're there.
when
Yeah, I
they're
think they
there.
will. We just need to listen to it a lot over the next week.
Yeah, because there's
Get
actually
it.
nothing worse than being at a concert when you don't
Yeah.
know the music. It's quite
Yeah.
boring.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, no, it'll be super
And are you
fun.
dressing up?
Well, I don't know. James is coming as well. Maybe we'll try
I was going to say,
outfit.
opportunity to recce his
True.
Glasgow looks. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No, it'll be so fun. And we've got a friend who sells the merchandise at concerts. But she was like, tell me your seats and I'll make sure that there's a surprise for the
Oh my
kids.
God,
I was like,
cute.
will it be Harry?
Will you just put him there?
Yeah.
Whenever I go to a concert.
Really?
Yes, but great new life hack. So I left Elton John, whenever it was, a month or so ago, and walked out and I was like, oh, I didn't get a t-shirt. And then I realised there was a banner that just said, oh, you can get it at like the official, it was eltonjohn.co.uk. And I just bought it there. Sent it to the office instead.
Because
So much
there's
easier.
queues actually.
Yeah.
And we went to Harry Styles last summer, and the biggest queues were for the t-shirts,
Exactly.
for the merch.
Yeah.
But snaking
Yeah.
round and round.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth seeing if there's a
wow.
harrystyles.co.uk.
Well, you don't
Yeah,
need to.
well,
It's going to be on your
hopefully
seat.
Yeah, someone will definitely nick that. As if you can just leave them free merch on some people's seats and just hope for the best.
I know.
There's going to be nothing there. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to tell the kids.
No,
I'll be
bless
really
you, don't.
disappointed.
Let's move on. Sherri, you've got an abundance of things for us to talk about today. So,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
do you want to hit
There's
us?
been a lot going on.
There has.
Here's one you made earlier.
So, where should we start? Love Island? It starts
mean,
tonight. It's back
big
again.
news.
And it felt like it only just finished.
Yeah.
Recently.
I didn't watch
Was
that
there
one.
was
No,
there
it was a
another
winter.
one there?
Yeah, winter.
There was like a
Yeah.
winter one.
Did that get much
Well,
excitement around
Was
it?
that
Really?
Ekin Su, or was that last
that was
year?
No,
last
no,
year.
Ekin-Su and what was his name?
Davide.
They were still together, by the way, I
Yeah.
heard on GMB this morning.
Oh, someone told me they split up.
No, apparently not. It's really funny. Like, I didn't watch it in winter because to me it's just such a summer activity. And they were playing over the weekend. I must have seen a trailer or someone was talking about it, and they played the like. Do,
Yeah.
and it's just to me it's just summer. Oh my god, it
I
just
know.
gets me. I'm like, it's so associated with warm weather and everything for me that I just like. I'm like, okay, I've got to do it. It's a summer activity.
Yeah.
It's so boring, the beginning bit, though.
It's so boring.
You
The whole
have to wait
thing.
at least a week before it gets
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And actually, I do think this is, if they don't make changes this year, like if it is just the same format and they just, it's set, the boys or the girls go to Casa Amor and they do the same challenges,
Yeah.
then I'm done forever. If they've got one last, they've got one last chance to impress me. Yes, because it's getting so repetitive.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really watch it last year, but I felt that you could dip in, you could like miss it for 2 weeks and then pick it up.
And nothing was happening.
Whereas it used to be you were gripped
every single night.
Yeah. Like
But
you had to watch it minute by minute.
Right, but now the drama is less exciting because
You've seen it all before.
Seen it all, yeah. So this piece in The Independent actually says, Love Island can't hide from its ugly past. What place does the series have in 2023? And honestly, agreed.
Yeah.
And when they announced Maya Jama, I was like, okay, this is exciting. She's really cool. She's really fresh. I didn't really watch the last series, but I don't think they've evolved. They really haven't. It's the same kind of characters. Even if you look at like the cast from each year, there's like the blonde one, there's a mixed race boy, mixed race girl, like one black girl who gets
One posh girl.
Yeah.
So true.
it's the same like stereotypes every year. Even the chat's the same, the language is the same, like there's nothing. I don't think there's anything
Gaslighting
fresh.
is the same.
Yeah.
Like, that's not getting any better. I remember Tasha, the whole like bullying thing with Yuka last year and Dami. Like, there's still so much horrible behaviour in there from the boys in particular.
Yeah, exactly. So this piece is saying that hasn't really moved on, and apparently they've got so the contestants they've got a mental health person who's there with them, and they also have a financial advisor. So they are told even before they get in, here's how to handle your finances when you get out. And they also have
Agents.
Well, they don't they suspend their accounts now? Because I read something
because I
how
thought their family
they would have the
managed it.
family managing
Yeah.
the accounts, and that becomes a massive burden for the family. So if then there is some hate going on in the house and across, reporting of the show, you've got like some poor sister sat in her bedroom trying to manage this account. So I had read that after what happened last year, no one's allowed to have social activity.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yes, I think
I've
that's
read
right.
the same. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Totally makes sense. I always think the most excruciating part and the bit where like the old stereotypes always come into play is just that first bit always where they line the girls up in the bikini and the boys come forward and they say who they fancy the most. It's like the show is superficial, like by its very nature. It's hard to get away from that. No one's looking to watch it for like the deep meaningful context, well eventually, but that you're going to make on day one. But if it could just be a little more progressive rather than just like men picking which girl looks fittest in a bikini.
It should be almost out of a hat.
Yeah.
Like it should be a blind tasting.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't, the way people look wouldn't even have to come into it.
It's just so cringe.
Yeah.
And they all wear bikinis with their heels.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Or just don't be in bikinis. Be
Yeah,
in a
Yeah,
dress.
wear a
exactly.
dress.
Wear a
So
cool dress.
true.
Yeah.
But even then, they still walk in and they're like, and it's literally like, pick the one that you think is the hottest. And that's just,
So why is it that the men pick the girls?
good question.
yeah.
So the men
no,
line
the
up.
men-
So the girls are all in the villa and they all line up, and then they bring out a man one by one, and it's okay. So let's say Adam comes forward and they say, okay, who would be interested in Adam, and then they can step forward. But then ultimately Adam chooses who he likes, to look. And they don't speak. It's just like, okay, meet Adam. Adam, who do you like the look of to partner up with first?
Right.
Which is just pretty
Yeah.
wild.
But it just hasn't changed.
No.
At all.
And
They
how
haven't
long
done
is
any.
it? 10 years?
This is its 10th year.
No way.
Yeah, this is its 10th year. And I remember watching the OG series when it was a lot more like they're allowed to smoke, they're allowed to have way
Get
more
drunk.
alcohol.
Yeah.
And even that in a way was kind of better because it wasn't like the same people who were just clearly going on to become a
Yeah,
influencer.
that was Olivia Atwood.
No, she was
Not
3.
first.
She was season 3.
I
Chris, I know that. Chris, Cam, Olivia, like that season.
Yeah, that was
3.
I love that.
was
No, she
an
got married
easy
at
season. Yeah.
She did, yeah. So was that 7 years ago?
7 years ago, yeah. So there are, so many more dating shows, like the one with Danny Minogue.
Yes, so cool.
Very
I've seen it on
iconic. She's
Gogglebox.
presenting. It's with queer people, so no heterosexual relationships, which what Love Island has been criticised for. And I think they said something like, "Oh, it's going to be very difficult logistically," which people didn't like for obvious reasons.
Which is why it just can't move on. If they can't make that happen,
Agreed.
Then how can it be representative of today?
But obviously they should be able to, put in bisexual people, mix up the genders, mix up the couples. It shouldn't just be this whole like boy-girl situation.
Isn't that meant to be like an older person's divorcee's Love Island?
it's
or
coming.
something?
It's
coming.
It's
still happening.
Yeah, with Davina.
Yeah.
And Big
my God.
Brother's coming back as well.
So for me, that whole, when you were just saying about the theme tune, for me it was the Big Brother
Me too.
house.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
And like, all those grainy images of the hens and all of that. I just loved it.
That was my that was my teenage summer for sure.
Yeah. And
Well,
there's
I'm
weird
a bit
people.
older.
Yeah,
So
but
that
it's
was
like
my-
I relate as well. Like I still
Yeah.
It's
We-
funny,
yeah,
isn't it, what you
it's-
associate?
Yeah, it's so extraordinary. I could watch Big Brother now though.
Well, it used to be on Channel 4, live streamed all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
watch
On
it.
E4.
Yeah.
E4,
Oh, yeah.
sorry,
You could watch
E4.
the cam all
All day.
Watch them sleep.
You could watch them do whatever, and you, when you tuned into that, it was so boring. Because
Yeah.
they were
So
literally,
boring.
like picking their knits. It was
Yeah,
so dull. But yeah, you could like. I just think again, it's a bit like Love Island. Like people are going to be going in there with other motives. It's not going to be like the cross section of random society.
I'm dying for the celebrity ones to come back. I'll be watching that glued to the TV.
Oh, really?
What, the normal
Love
one,
Island or
Big
Big
Brother. Big Brother. Celebrity Love Island though.
Yeah.
Again,
They
I'll watch
did
that.
that.
No, that's how Love Island began.
Yeah.
It's with Paul Danis.
Yeah,
was his name.
Danis,
Paul
that's it.
Danis.
Don't
Anyway,
call me
and Rebecca
I think we need to-
Lewis. It was quite a Z-list bunch.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
it
Funny
was
that.
the first type of thing you'd seen them, and I think seen them on holiday and in swimsuits, which
Yeah.
at the time felt so
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like real access. To
Whereas now we see so much nakedness, and
Yeah.
everyone's in a bikini and a thong, and you're like, it's just you don't even see
Yeah.
it.
When I think of Celebrity Big Brother, though, I think of like such like the moments that kind of hurt me to my core. Like I think of Jade Goody. Think of the bullying with Shilpa Shetty. I think of George Scumbag Galloway doing his cat thing. Like I think of David dying. Like, yeah, don't you remember?
Yeah.
Doing his little cat thing. Yeah.
And didn't Les Dennis have a kind of meltdown
Yes,
in there?
because
And there was
Amanda.
also and Vanessa was
Phelps.
in it. She
Yes.
had
Vanessa Phelps,
something
yeah.
happen with
Yes, a
her.
bit of a breakdown as well. I just remember all
Yeah.
these horrible, quite uncomfortable to watch moments.
Yeah.
True. I still think of 2016 best lineup ever. Angie Bowie, Gemma Collins, Chris Maloney. Who else was in there? Megan McKenna, Scotty T.
Oh wow, this is quite recent. Yeah.
Is it recent?
As in that feels like quite a modern lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, true. With
The GC didn't last not very long, did she?
No, Tiffany Pollard, David is Dead. That's what I remember.
David is Dead was long before that.
No,
No.
that was 2016. Yeah.
David Thingy was in there with Gemma Collins.
Yeah, David Guest.
David Guest.
R.I.P.
I swear that was long before that.
Yeah, David is
David
dead.
is dead, yeah.
David is actually dead now.
Yeah, he really
he wasn't
was.
then though.
He wasn't. That was the point. Okay, well maybe that'll
Yeah.
come back. I suppose it depends on the reception, perhaps, of Big Brother Maine.
Yeah,
True.
Let's see. Speaking of ITV, I felt like we had to just talk about Phillip Schofield.
It's taken over
Because it is,
Yeah.
like it or not, it is the biggest news story in the UK
Yeah.
at the moment, and kind of remains to be. I don't know. We've been in the office all morning, and I feel like today was Holly's first day back on this
just
morning,
watched
wasn't it?
it.
Oh,
she's back.
so what happened?
What did she say?
She just opened the show and she looks that not a huge amount of makeup, or she just looks quite sort of demure, yeah. And she opens the show and says, right, deep breath, and then sort of starts talking about it's quite clever. She sort of says, how are you, to the viewers,
Right.
She's like, how are you? I'm sure that you're feeling, as we've been feeling, shocked, upset, that, and it's quite clever. She sort of puts them on her side.
Okay.
She's with them.
Yeah.
They're a team. I like Holly some, but I feel that it is very clever the way they've done it. And then they sort of said, we all feel that we've been lied to by somebody we trusted.
Oh, I see. So she is not defending him.
No, she says, we feel lied to and saddened and shaken by what Phillip has done.
The thing is, every single person outside of core ITV staff is sick. And I remember I heard this at the time as well. At the time that he came out as gay, it was like this everyone has known that there was a guy, a male member of staff on the This Morning team, a much younger guy, who he had been in a really long-term relationship with. Like that, okay, look, it could have just been rumours hitting us, but I just feel like there's a lot of, whether that was right or wrong is another question, but I feel like this whole kind of pretense that no one there, including Holly, knew about
Everyone
it
knew.
is really nasty. It's
Yeah.
real kind of turning your back on someone in need stuff.
Was the person he had the affair with at any point underage?
So this is the accusation, right? Go on, Sherri.
He says no. I think he said he waited till he was 20, but the bit which is very murky is that he met when he was in school. I think he was 15. He got him a job on This Morning, and a lot of the accusation is that he has been grooming this guy from a really young age, got him a job, is now in the industry, and this has all happened.
And has the guy made any comment? Do we know who he is?
I don't think
I don't think he has.
Yeah, he's been.
We'd hope he's not going to have to go through that.
There's been lots of pictures and it's all been fuzzed out, so I don't know if there's like an injunction there.
Yeah,
there must be. But look, ultimately it will be for kind of an inquiry to decide if there was grooming that went on. So I guess we're not saying whether that happened or not. I have seen a lot of commentary suggesting that there's been lots of other relationships. For example, Cheryl Cole met Liam Payne when he was like 16 or 15 even, I think, and obviously they went on to have a relationship. Caroline Flack, obviously, and Harry Styles.
Relationships, whether they're right or wrong, that was very much public. And this was not. This was he had an affair as well.
Yeah,
but
I really don't believe I really don't believe that people should be vilified to this extent because they've had an affair. Like, I really, look, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I condone it, but that is between the people involved. That is not, and again, as I say, that is not a judgment on the response to him, given the age and the potential kind of, murkiness, exactly. But know people where that's happened. Then actually, I think, it's really easy to look at a relationship and think it's black and white, or look at an affair and think it's black and white, but that so often isn't the case. So the assumption that it's just this kind of black and white wrong deception thing, I'm quite uncomfortable with.
I feel that because of the jumping the queue with the Queen earlier in the year, I feel like the British press have wanted to take him down. Yeah. And I feel like, all of us have heard the rumours through various friends or contacts this morning that it is a super toxic place to work. And he did rule with an iron fist, and it was all about his work. I had a friend who I was with last week who used to do fashion there, and she said that if it was one of their birthdays and you were allowed in their dressing room for cake, like Phil and Holly, you had to be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, it was a hierarchy, and it wasn't a lovely place. And I feel that, so I think people have, as soon as there's been something's happened, which of course is awful depending on what happens with the inquiry, but I feel people have been ready to jump on him.
Agree. And have you guys seen like Eamon Holmes speaking last week? And everybody, and Ranj and like Carol McGiffin, everyone who's ever worked on ITV is taking the opportunity to twist the knife, which...
Oh, so he's just not alike.
No.
Exactly.
I think that is, and that is a massive factor in it, that he's just not very liked.
Yeah, well, you're totally right. Yeah,
it just gives me the morning show vibes.
Exactly, it just is the morning show.
It is, because even in the morning show, obviously there's a suggestion of grooming and how he, but actually his argument was kind of like, but we're two consenting adults, and obviously the women in question didn't feel they had a choice, perhaps, for all the different reasons.
And he did that interview super quick, I thought.
Yeah, he did.
The interview was poor. For me, it was like Prince Andrew 2.0. He was likening himself to Caroline Flack, which is just such poor taste. I think the main issue, for me personally, is that it's like a power... he's in the position of power, and he's obviously abused that. And this guy's really young. He's a very senior, was a very senior person at ITV. This boy was just starting out, barely from school. Like, that's what makes it seem really wrong.
I totally agree with all that. It's worth, to your point, actually in Glamour magazine over the weekend I saw, or it's online at glamour.co.uk, I saw somebody who used to work, she was only there for 3 months, but left quite quickly after 3 months, and it was a really good, honest kind of expose on the toxic culture that it is that working there, and it feels truthful. It's really worth a read. It was a really interesting kind of...
I wonder how they'll recover, because the viewing numbers were going down anyway, and then it had gone down a lot after the Queen's queue jumping scenario. So the audience is very invested, and when they felt betrayed that they had jumped the queue, people switched off. So that's... I just wonder where
it goes.
Did she have a co-presenter this morning?
Josie Gibson, who was ex-Big Brother, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was, yes.
And then they've got Alison Hammond and then Dermot. Let's see what happens today. I wonder what the response will be.
Intrigued to see,
Let's see. Okay, Sherri, what else have you got for us?
Okay, so this is also in The Independent. Lots of nice articles the last week. So this was about jean shopping is still a nightmare, and how for some women, they just absolutely hate it, but like underwear shopping. And I'm firmly in this camp. I hate shopping for jeans. It is not a pleasurable experience. I feel like the sizes aren't that inclusive still in a lot of high street stores. And, if you're not, traditionally slim, then it's quite hard to find jeans that fit you, which is the bugbear in this piece. What do you guys think?
I mean, jeans has always been in the camp with, it's been jeans, swimwear, evening wear. That's the thing my mum has always said. But those are the three things that are very difficult to buy for. I do think that it's probably improved because you can shop at your leisure online and you don't have to do the right time off to find a new pair of jeans and that was always
like a
really,
hot Saturday.
that was the worst thing.
Yeah.
And equally, I think that the denim trends are more inclusive now. So I agree. I'm also not a traditional shape and therefore find jeans really difficult if I'm shopping for a mum or a boyfriend. But now there are so many baggy options or whatever, different vibes that if you're just looking for kind of denim as a category, I do think there's more out there and they're just kind of they don't have that traditional denim hard fit. But if you're looking for actual jeans, then it is more difficult.
Yeah.
Hodge?
I find that I'll find a style and then I just reorder that style.
Yeah.
I love the Anine Bing Sonia. I've got those in black and a pearl wash. Although weirdly, the black, if I wear them all day at work, I'm in agony when I get home.
Yeah.
It's
Black
so
denim.
Black
is
denim.
tighter.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's the dye.
Yeah.
It's stiffer.
Because the blue exactly the same shape and they're so comfy. But I'm, when you're oh God,
when you can
so
see
in tight.
when it's all imprinted on your stomach, the
oh
button
my
of the
God,
zip and the,
not good.
Georgina, that's a really clever idea just to keep buying.
Yeah,
the
so
same
then,
pair.
and I feel like the older I get, the less I worry about trends in terms of jeans, and I just wear what suits me.
Yeah.
So
Georgina?
I think,
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd buy a lot of denim from Cézanne because once you know that there's a cut and a style that fits you, their 7/8 crop, for me, is full length because I'm so short and things like that. I think when you find those little things, but I mean, I think I'm a pretty standard size 8, but what I get really annoyed about is the length with jeans, and you can't ever quite get them taken up to look as good as they do, when you buy them at the right length. So that's my bugbear on jeans.
I think that Topshop is the biggest loss to the high street for denim more than
I
anything.
used to always buy Jamie skinnies.
Right, because everything you're describing, I know that so many other high street brands do this, but you could walk into that any Topshop, but I'm obviously picturing the Oxford Street one, and there would be a shape and size for every person, and there'd be 3 different leg lengths. There was tall, there was short, and there was normal, and then there would be every different wash for every, you could just pick your player and stick there forever. And I think you can still buy those varieties, but it's not the same as being able to go in and actually
those
have that
Jamie
experience.
jeans. Do they even still make those anymore?
I think they do.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they're on ASOS, aren't
And
they?
the Jonies, oh my God, I live those. Do you remember those really high-waisted, really stretchy
they
Jonies?
were so tight.
They were
though.
so tight, but you felt so
Oh my gosh.
sucked in. Where do you buy jeans, Sherri?
Gosh, I haven't bought jeans in a long time. I feel like a lot of my favourite ones used to be my sister's, hand-me-downs. H&M sometimes, Arquette. But I feel when your weight fluctuates and 1 minute your jeans fit perfectly and then 2 weeks later they just don't. So I feel like I have about 12 pairs and I only wear 2 really. And I'm I don't want to get rid of them because what if they fit or what if, I don't know. I regret it and it's hard.
Well, I actually had an epiphany a couple of months ago that I actually just don't really need jeans in my, and I feel like jeans are such a capsule wardrobe staple, and obviously for a lot of people they can be, but actually I find that I'm so much better in a pair of tailored trousers or silk trousers or whatever it might be. I found it quite liberating just saying actually I never felt good in them, I never felt cool in them, so just saying actually I don't really need to do this.
I think a good pair of jeans though can make you look mega.
Yeah, it's just less.
If you're comfortable in them, if you're uncomfortable, that's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
And I do like the kind of you're wearing the sort of high-waisted flares. I've got some similar ones. And the high waist thing, great, all flattering and everything. But oh my God, after lunch, I'm just
busting out. Yeah.
tight.
I did buy a pair. I bought a Ray pair, I don't know, a month or so ago, which I'm loving because, and I think this is the key, because they're not really like jeans. They're low waist, they're white, they're really wide. They look good with a point, or they're very chill to wear with flats. And I'm that's my vibe, and that's why I feel like denim is becoming more inclusive. But maybe that just doesn't count as jeans in inverted commas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, another point is that the sizes, particularly in high street shops, differs wildly.
Yeah.
So you could be like a size 10 in one shop and a size 14, and
Yeah.
even though sizing shouldn't really matter, if you do try on a pair of jeans that's like 2 sizes big, you're like, oh my god, am I this size? Like, who cares? But still, like,
It's more just the lack of consistency, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people on our team really swear by weekday denim.
Oh, yeah.
I've not tried it, but
Yeah.
I know that that's one that people really love. And actually, we've done some bits with River Island denim over the years as well, which is really nice.
yeah.
There is
I
good stuff out
bought
there.
my
true.
first pair of Levi 501s for
yeah.
about 10 years. Not that I used to buy them, but I used to buy them like vintage secondhand when I was younger. And they were a good fit, actually.
People love them.
Yeah,
And
they're
actually,
really good.
we ran an article on site a couple of weeks ago in which the fashion team tried on their favourite pairs of 501s and took an image. So there's some good inspo in there as well.
Oh,
if you're
that's
looking
good.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many different options with 501s.
Yeah.
isn't there?
Well, this I didn't know. I was busy
Yeah.
flicking through and I
Yeah.
was like, are these all 501? Anyway, it
Yeah.
turns out they are. So
It's so nice when people post something and you're like, oh, lush, and then they give the link and you go on and they are, some of them are on Amazon.
yeah.
My mind.
501s are ubiquitous. I think they're an ASOS as well. You can get them everywhere. Yeah.
exciting.
Okay,
Yeah.
some time for some quick fire questions. Someone has said, I like this question a lot. What is your fashion guilty pleasure?
ooh.
What do you mean?
Well, I think maybe, is it like the thing you buy? So like, I would say mine is sweatshirts or hoodies. Like,
Okay.
I do not need any more sweatshirts
yeah.
or hoodies, but God, I'm just like a moth to a flame. Like, I'm already thinking about what, like this new hoodie that I really want, but like, why? I don't go out here. I don't wear a hoodie to work. It's too warm to wear on the weekend. So that's my guilty pleasure. Just like really schmumpy wear.
Yeah, mine could
Schmumpy.
be mine. I used to really quite like a ruffly shoulder. I've got my shoulder on today.
Are
Actually,
you doing? Yes. Give it up.
So maybe that's mine. I love big shoulders, big sleeves, frou-frou. I want to make an entrance.
That's more just like a habit, I suppose, isn't it? Maybe they're both
That's
habits.
still cool,
Maybe like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like you shouldn't
and then
feel
my
guilty about that.
weird thing is I really like new socks.
Oh yeah. I think everyone likes
So
those.
I'll often just drop 30 quid on loads of socks.
Where are the best socks from?
Weekday.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I'd love for weekday today.
really thick.
Good hack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like the mother
Nice.
denim socks. They're the best. They're the best. Georgina, any fashion guilty pleasures?
Oh, I really love a going out shoe.
Oh,
And I feel like that is a real guilty
Yeah,
pleasure because you're going to be dropping
yeah, that's an
a couple
expensive
of hundred
habit.
on that. I've got my eye on a pair at the moment, and they're actually just anonymous Copenhagen.
Okay.
And they are high heel with an ankle strap, and then it's kind of like knotted leather
Nice.
around the toes in a kind of, actually on the website I think it's described as like milky white. They're just a really good summer
really nice.
heel,
Great.
and I've just got them open on my browser, and I should probably just shut the page, because the thing with a going out shoe is like how many times you really, and that's why I feel it's a guilty pleasure. If you have a pair of good heels, you don't necessarily need like
Agreed.
many
Yeah.
others,
Yeah.
but
You're just a shoe
That's a good
person.
one.
Some people are shoe people.
yeah.
There's a pair on Mango. I put them on my stories over the weekend.
Oh, I saw those, and I clicked the link through the
How
big
amazing
bow.
with the big bow.
Oh
They're-
my god, they look really
Right?
mega.
They're so bright.
They are so bright. So this is it. They are part of their
Yeah.
limited edition. I don't think it's specifically bridal range, but like it's pretty bridal.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just like a white stiletto with this huge
Huge
bow on
bow.
the front. I
Yeah.
mean, they're just
So cool.
gorgeous. They're really gorgeous. But yeah, I'm not sure you can wear them with like jeans and a top.
No, I don't have wear them.
You should wear them
Not
with a
like
dress.
skirt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's like a white dress, like a sexy dress. 'Cause
Yeah.
then it balances
Like
out the
a-
cutesiness.
yeah, like
like
an
a slim
hourglass
fitted.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sherri, any fashion guilty pleasures?
I'm trying to think. It's quite hard. Maybe like a sparkly trouser. I've got many pairs. And
Yeah.
when do I wear them?
That's niche.
Yeah.
Christmas party.
Yeah,
And
true.
Beyonce.
But yeah, true. Gigs and Christmas.
Yeah, that is very nice. Okay, one for, well, both of you perhaps. Cultural recommendations for London in summer. What's coming up? Sherri?
Well, summer exhibition, if I can jump in.
Go
I mean,
ahead.
that's
Yeah.
just like
Go.
you go at that courtyard. I always think in the summer when you arrive at Royal Academy, and there's all the kind of, obviously it's all people send in, and they can be professional artists or
Oh, wow.
amateur artists. And the courtyard's just so pretty. And I think what's nice with some of the big London places is to be able to go to somewhere that has like outdoor space as well. So
Yeah.
you can then have a drink outside, can't you? And take in the exhibition.
Yeah.
I think that's quite
Yeah,
It's a
really
really nice
good one.
one.
Yeah. what else coming up? There's a new diva exhibition at the V&A.
Buzzing for
Which
this
looks
exhibition.
really
Wow,
good.
that looks. Oh, I think I've seen a bit of that on Insta.
So what does it mean?
I think it's like diva through the ages, but like diva in a positive association, not negative.
It's like musical divas.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
So like
Tina-
costumes
Exactly.
from,
Yeah.
it's like Prince
Whoever.
costumes and that kind of
Oh,
thing.
I
yeah.
love
But also
that.
like your Tina Turners
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
Beyonce
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So
And
lots
like
of fashion.
behind the scenes photos and things like that.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And then also the National Portrait Gallery is reopening. That's actually reopened this week, actually. And there'll be lots of new portraits of like Stormzy and the Royals.
cool.
And
Oh,
yeah,
And
really
they've
cool.
got a really nice roof terrace kind of cafe restaurant on the top as well.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, really, a lovely summer spot.
People keep raving as well about the post-impressionism exhibition at the National Gallery, which I have, which sounds quite highfalutin, but apparently is like one of the best curated exhibitions that's ever been in London.
I haven't been like that for so long. I need to tick some boxes.
Well, you are going to Harry Styles and Glastonbury, so those are cultural things not to be
Wow.
missed.
Yeah.
Sherri, one for you. What are the best curly hair products? What do you use to keep your hair, your curls intact?
Curly hair, I love Way. It smells really nice and they've got a really nice curl range. I use a brand called Mixed Chicks, which I've used for years. It's just like a really lightweight leave-in conditioner for like nearly all hair types, really. I should get it off Amazon. That's really good. And Phillip Kingsley as well. OG, the Elasticizer Extreme. If you've got dry hair like me, oh my god, it just transforms everything.
That's the one that Lou always swears by as well. She's got curly hair.
Oh yeah,
so,
true. Yeah, really good.
Final question. Do you have any good recommendations for swimwear brands? Swim. Oh, this is whatever the opposite of guilty pleasure is.
Yeah.
I haven't bought new swimwear in about 3 years. I hate my swim wardrobe.
Yeah.
Me
Don't
too.
really know where to start.
Oh,
I went
yes.
to Selfridges this weekend. I walked around and I just thought, I hate all of this. And I don't really know where to go or what to do.
When I went on holiday and I packed my bikinis, which are all, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old, and I just felt really unexcited about them all. And also, I thought, oh, should I go bikini shop? I just thought, I can't think of anything worse.
I so agree. I also think the price of swim is a lot currently. Like to buy a nice swimsuit is really expensive. You're not going to buy multiple £150 swimsuits, but equally, I don't particularly want to buy high street ones that aren't going to last and don't have the quality. So it's quite a difficult position.
I love a Hansa G.
So I don't actually have a Hansa
All of
G.
my swimsuits now Hansa G. I'm sort of edging out. Because I feel they suck you in. The colours are good. They're thick.
Do they? Do they suck? Because
Yeah,
I
they
was
really
thinking,
suck
are they
you in.
really stretchy?
Yeah,
so
they
that
show everything.
They show everything.
Well,
They're
no,
not-
and they're all one size.
And what about the top? Does that hold you well?
Yes. And they
So
do
like a
lots of different.
bandeau
So,
sort of-
there's either sort of, they do one shoulders or there's like scoop or straight across and different sort of shoulders, like the skinny straps or thick. But I feel like your swimsuit now is part of your look.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you're going for lunch, then you can wear the swimsuit with a pair of shorts or sarong. Like,
Really
so
cool,
I
yeah.
think it goes with the colours are great. Because
It kind of works harder for you than just being a thing for the beach.
Yeah. And I've got a few bikinis from them, and some of them are really high, which I like, and then some of them are not in a great place. You've definitely got to try them on.
Okay.
I'd
Noted.
go
Okay.
in.
Hansa G is the only one that I've been thinking like, okay, I suppose that's probably like the best option.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But lying in a wet swimsuit is really...
Yeah, horrible.
Oh, icky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say I saw a really good Hansa G dupe at the weekend in Arquette.
Oh.
Yeah, it looked really nice.
There's one in Urban as well that my daughter just bought, and it's in pink, and it's really nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Really,
Good to
really
know.
good.
Well, I'm sure we'll have plenty of guides coming up on Sherlock's over the coming weeks with more expert opinion than ours. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you have any feedback at all, please do email podcast@sherlocks.com. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.